Hey guys, it's Vito, and today we're playing Company of Heroes. This is the best strategy game that I have ever played and that has ever been on my computer. And this game has been first launched in 2006, and there have been a couple of new patches added since then. But basically, this is an 8-year-old game, and as you can see, now we're on the 3rd of July, and there have already been played 50,000 games this month. So there are a lot of people playing this game, even though it's pretty old, and for a reason, because this game is epic. You can get it on Steam. It is extremely cheap because it is extremely old. I think it's $3 or pounds, I'm not sure, so it's like a bargain. But in my opinion, this is a must-have. And since this game appeared, I've been playing it. I'm not really good because I made a couple of breaks, but I really do enjoy this game. So to quickly demonstrate, I'll be getting into a skirmish one-on-one, and I think I'll be playing as the Germans. And basically there are two game modes: Annihilate, where you have to destroy all the enemy units, or Victory Point Control, and there are some Victory Point controls on the map, and if you capture them, it's like in War Thunder, when you capture points and the enemy loses points, and when they get to 0 they lose. So I'll be playing against an American. Okay, so I'll be playing as the Wehrmacht. There are two nations from the Axis, Wehrmacht and Panzer Elite. They have different units, and on the other side you have the Americans and the British. I really do like to play with the British a lot, but for this video I'll be playing as the Wehrmacht. And basically, what this game has different to other strategy games is, first of all, the way you get the resources, with some income, a wood factory, or I don't know, you get what I'm saying. In this game, however, there are those territories, and every single territory that you capture gives you a special advantage. And first off, we'll be looking at the mini-map. This is the enlarged mini-map. It's a big map, tactical map, and you can see the sectors and how much resource every single sector is giving. And this is the munition sectors, the fuel sectors, and those are the manpower sectors. And the manpower sectors give you population increase, and also how do you call it, manpower income, because manpower is basically the main resource. It is used for almost every single unit in the game. And playing as the Germans do need a lot of fuel, so I'll be going for this fuel point here really quickly. You can see that I have upgraded my pioneers with a flamethrower, and because they will basically be on the front line, and I want to keep those two high fuel points in order to keep my advance. So from the HQ you can make, it's like on Age of Empires when you do how do you call them, when you advance to a new age. This is basically what the HQ does. And the basic, like the farmers that are the pioneers, they have a basic attack, but they are very weak, so you can't really rely on them to fight unless they have a flamethrower. And you advance to new, you can say, eras, and every single upgrade from the HQ allows you to build more buildings. This is the basic building. From here you can get motorcycles, Volksgrenadiers, that are the basic Wehrmacht unit, heavy MGs, and snipers. So I'll be training an MG because MGs are really good for keeping positions. Also with pioneers you can build mines, tank traps, sandbags, and bunkers. And the bunker, it can keep your troops inside, and they are very well protected, and you can see that they are firing through the windows. Or you can upgrade the bunker with a heavy MG, aid station, or repair station. So until now you can see that because I'm playing against a CPU normal, they're not doing really big problems to me right now. They killed one guy, and as you can see, when you lose one guy, if you lose the whole group, you lose it forever. But if you have one guy, you can retreat. As you can see, I can't control this guy right now, but he can easily escape. And now, if I get him near my HQ, I can reinforce him. So he's going to. There are going to be 2 people again in the squad. As you can see, those guys here moved too close to my bunker, and now they are in the flamethrower range, but they also have a flamethrower, which is not really good. As you can see, the flamethrower is really killing those guys in the bunker. And in this game, you really need to make use of the covers that you have. And here's the MG coming, and this MG is going to own those guys, and it's mounted, and as you can see, it pines, and when they are pined, they can't really shoot a lot. And this is the main power of the MG. It pines, and it also does a lot of damage to enemies that are not in cover. So looks like those guys are trying to flame my MG, and I will just move it in such a way that it's going to be able to cover both sides. I will keep on advancing on a new era, and from every building that you get into, you can upgrade it into a like sort of mobile HQ, and from there you can also train units that you'll be able to train from those buildings, except vehicles. You can't just build vehicles. And looks like those guys really want this point, so I'll be building in this bunker here. I'm creating an MG, and I'm also building an MG here in order to defend the point, so they will not be able to capture it. And as soon as I get to the assault phase, I will be able to build this building here, which is the center where you can build the first tanks, and the first thing that you will be able to get is the Stug 4, and also you can build an armor car and Nebelwerfers. The Nebelwerfers are used for bombing, as you're going to see, because I will train some. So I decapped them, and it's really dangerous to stay here because I would lose the squad, so I retreat. And now I want to capture those points near my base that I haven't captured yet. And I have now defended this side here a little bit against infantry, because I remember when I first started playing game with tanks, the first game that I encountered tanks in was Rise of Nations, sorry. And in that game, if you had enough archers, you could destroy a Tiger tank, and that wasn't so cool. And when I first played Company of Heroes, I remember I was playing as the Americans, and I got a jeep, and I remember I encountered the Stug, and I was like, oh please don't damage that Stug, and it didn't. The Stug completely one-shotted my jeep, and that was awesome. And now I have my building, and I can train a Stug, and I'm getting a Stug right now, and I think I will be getting also a Nebelwerfer. And let's see, I'll also train a Nebelwerfer. Okay, so this MG here can shoot into those guys because they are in cover, and I will try to draw them out of cover with my pioneers. Let's hope they are not going to die. If I see they are getting critical damage, I will just retreat them. This is why I am keeping my hands on the retreat button, and I want to throw them out, so I will be bringing an MG. And looks like those guys really want to... I think they went around, I'm not sure. They probably went around, and this is why they escaped my MG. But now I have a Stug, and the Stug really, they can't do anything about it. Unfortunately, they just decapped my building, and now they are going inside. So this squad, I'll put it in the bunker, and I'll be getting my Stug in here. You'll see that my Stug completely craps on those riflemen. They are not able to do anything about it, because the Stug is armored. Unfortunately, my pioneer here is pretty dying.
We have lost a unit.
And yeah, he died.
Pioneers here.
You can also use medical kits to, you could say, revive. Not really revive, but to reinforce squads. Now I notice this rifleman squad here, and I'm trying to mount my MG just in time. And I've got my Nebel Warfare. What is this house doing? This Stug is completely wrecking this house. Company of Heroes was the first game that used the Havoc physics engine that we have in World of Tanks. You can see the way the house destroys when the Stug is firing at it. And when this game appeared in 2006, you can imagine how cool it was. Okay, this Nebel Warfare is really slow. And I'm advancing to the last era, and you can see this thing blinking here. This is the difference between Company of Heroes and almost every other strategy game that I've played. And this is the commander that you can choose. I think this MG is going to die. Yeah, it's dead. The commander, and this commander is basically, it allows you to do new stuff. So for example, if I choose terror, I have a King Tiger, or I am allowed to call a King Tiger only once in the entire game. And on the other branch I have a Firestorm. So those guys are going to destroy the bunker, so I'll be calling a Firestorm in here. You're going to see there is red smoke coming, and sooner or later one guy survived because he managed to move away. But if you manage to hit some troops with a couple of troops with the Firestorm, it's going to completely rape them. And as you can see, the Firestorm has stopped, and I'm building the last building, the Panzer Command, and this building is very called the good tanks, the Panzer 4, and this is, you also have the Kampkraft Center, or I think this is how you pronounce it, where you do tank upgrades, not only tank upgrades, unit upgrades in general. So I'm staying pretty well with my resources. I'm gaining a lot of munition, and looks like those guys here are trying to get my points, so I'll bombard them with my Nebel Warfare. And let's see, I'll wait my Stug so it doesn't get into the Nebel Warfare. It took my MG. This is something also that you can do if their weapon remains on the ground. And this is the Nebel Warfare bombardment. As you can see, only one Nebel Warfare doesn't do so much damage, but as you can see, this fire on the ground kills the enemy troops. And my Stug is pissing on that MG squad. Okay, so let's see. How am I going to finish off those guys? I have a pretty high amount of ammunition, and I think I'll be going for, let's see, should I get a Panther? But the Panther really costs a lot. It costs 110 fuel. Yeah, those guys are retreating. As you can see, this bunker is doing its job. Nobody's getting through that area. Okay, so first of all, I want to take my field point back. Also place a mine here, because usually those guys, when they come to take my point, they come from the direction. With my Stug, I will be advancing, because every base, as you can see, I have 2 bunkers, and the enemies have 2 MG emplacements right here. And I'll use my Stug to get through that defense line, because otherwise, if I'm trying to go with troops, this MG is just going to bind them and eventually kill them. As you can see, my mine is being put on place. I think I'll be going for a V1 rocket, and I'm training my Panther just for the lols. The Panther really isn't good for fighting infantry. It's very good for fighting tanks and armor vehicles. But what can you do when you are so rich? You have to take the Panther. if you're a real man. And my naval warfare is in place, and I am going to bombard this area here, so let's see. Let's put it into a more panoramic mode.
Americans are seizing territory from us.
Prepare to die. That building died. And the naval warfare just scored its first kill. So as you can see, not really accurate, but when it hits it does damage pretty much. And another thing, the naval warfare is really good against infantry, and I think the bombs used by the naval warfare are the same bombs used by the firestorm. I'm not entirely sure, but they look like the same. And I'll be calling a firestorm in here because I see they have a lot of infantry. And my Stug is going to fire this, and you're going to see the carnage that the firestorm is able to do. Again, off-map artillery bombardments, pretty strong. As you can see, this infantry, you can see that I set their HQ on fire. This infantry is losing a lot of health, staying in that area. My naval warfare, I think, is ready for another bombardment. I've got my Panther, so let's call in the Panther. Where is my naval warfare? I want to bombard that area again. Okay, so what else to be said about this game? Of course, other doctrines give you other advantages. There are doctrines that allow you to build heavy flak cannons and other cool stuff. So as you can see, my enemy went with airborne. Those troops, you can trade them. You don't trade them from any building. They just come. They just paratroop. They effectively paratroop. And I'll try to destroy them with my flamethrower squad. As you can see, my flamethrower pioneers not as strong. They lose health really quickly. And I'll be sending this pioneer squad as bait, so that they're not going to kill my flamethrower squad. And as you can see, they just paratrooped an anti-tank. Yeah, the anti-tank is really powerful against Panthers, because Panthers are not really good against infantry, and the anti-tank counts as infantry, but as you can see, not really a problem. And I'm killing those guys. And when the anti-tank has 3 people on his grid, when you kill 2 of them, automatically the last one commits suicide, and you get a nice anti-tank on the ground that you can use for your own job. So my naval, I don't think my naval warfare is going to be able to fire. Oh yes, it is. And I've got my Oswind, and Oswind, I think this is the best anti-infantry tank in the game. No doubt about that. Naval warfare is bombarding, and again, as you can see, the naval warfare doesn't cost anything to fire. The firestorm does, but the firestorm does a lot more damage. And they're paratrooping another anti-tank. And I think my Panther hit it well while it was paratrooping, so that was pretty cool. As you can see, the HQ is dying. And this is the Osmond, as you can see, very fast firing gun. This is a 37mm autoloader. You can see inside the tank. Let's stop this for a little bit. As you can see, those are 37mm shells, and this usually was an anti-aircraft gun, but of course you can use it to fight infantry, and it's really effective, and you're going to see here right now what the Osvin is capable of. And of course, this is a normal CPU, it's really easy to beat, as you can see for yourself. Also, you can see how much time those tanks need to hit that anti-tank. And they finally destroyed it, and this time they destroyed it fully. Not only they killed the people, they also destroyed the anti-tank itself. So, what's left to kill? Another anti-tank completely destroyed, and I have the V1, and this is what I've been waiting for. And I'll be calling the V1 here, and as you can see, when When you call in a V1 rocket, automatically all the tanks aim for show their front against the V1, and let's see what the V1 is going to do. Yeah, complete massacre. Also, the Azul is very good against anti-tanks, as you can see, really quick job. And anti-tanks, you could say, are good. They are good in positions where they have a very long firing range. This is where they excel, and they can kill your tanks before your tanks are able to do anything. The HQ has been destroyed, and my naval warfare should be bombarding right now. And I think I won. I don't think they have anything left. And yep, because I was playing on Annihilate, as soon as I destroyed every single building that they had, I won. I had nothing left, only a couple of troops here, and they couldn't do anything. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you do buy Company of Heroes, contact me, because it would be super epic to play with one of you Company of Heroes, my favorite strategy game ever. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please think about rating it, and have an absolutely awesome day.